the big news today, we were all shocked. I mean, maybe not that shocked, but
I was shocked.
Robert Saleh out, but out the way like the jerk in the office gets fired. Like, you can't even say goodbye to people. Grab your box of stuff, and we're gonna have security. Security. Get this guy out of here. You're fired. They gave him the old Vince McMahon treatment.
That's cold-blooded, but I was shocked and I wasn't at the same time, meaning I felt something was up between the relationship of Saleh and Rodgers, even though Rodgers said multiple times, we have a great friendship and a great relationship. Don't believe the hype. Well, you can't help but automatically think, though, that this reeks of Aaron Rodgers complaining about something. Is that true? I don't know. That's my first thought when I heard the news. But, there's lots to dissect, lots to talk about. It's a shame, really. But I think he still has a big future in the NFL. He's only 45 years old.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I guess I was wrong, Fonzie style, when I was the guy saying, oh, they're a little push on the sideline? No, they were just playing around. Clearly, there was a little more to that where they are not on the same page. And apparently, according to Adam Schefter, said last night, Jets owner Woody Johnson said he spoke to Aaron Rodgers, but it wasn't about Robert Saleh. Okay. Sure. I don't know if that passes the sniff test to you. When Aaron Rodgers meets with the owner last night, they have a little sit down, a little come to Jesus, a little how do you do? And then this morning, Robert Saleh shown the door? That doesn't and you're going to tell me that has nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers and Woody Johnson meeting last night.
Well, again, remember the mandatory practices, all the awkwardness with that when Rodgers didn't show up. There seemed some squabbles in the world of leadership, and Saleh's covering up there, and Aaron Rodgers is not showing
BS.
up. And then that hug on the sideline, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of weird. And then, they laughed it off. And I believe that, too. I'm like, yeah, but it still looked weird. The body language is off, right? I don't see some positive interaction in that moment. And then there was a lot of speculation on the 5 false start penalties and what was spoken about that, and Rodgers being awkward about that, Saleh being awkward about that. It didn't seem like things were cohesive. Didn't seem like they were getting along. Then it was addressed, and Rodgers was like, no, we're good. Don't believe that. We have a great relationship. And then you find out today he's gone after 3+ years. So, all right, let's be fair, too. Is it Aaron Rodgers just causing lots of drama for the Jets? That's where your mind automatically goes. But you have to think Robert Saleh has been with the Jets for 3+ years, 4-13, 7-10, 7-10, and then they're 2-3 this year. So he's 20-36 as a head coach. He's not exactly lighting it up, but there's something likable about the guy, especially if you followed his career, Rich, which I know you did. And in the meantime, if you just joined us, Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator, will be your interim head coach moving forward. Is that the final answer? No. Will it be Bill Belichick? Who knows? That's
hang out with your 24-year-old girlfriend with your Taylor Swift hoodie.
Yeah.
Enjoy life. You do not want this mess. And, Covino, when you do think about everything that went down this season, last season even, we watched Hard Knocks. Aaron Rodgers was going to take over New York City doing all the right things. Grand opening, grand closing. So last year was sort of like a mulligan for Robert Saleh. Like, well, listen, do what you can. You got Zach Wilson. I don't know what to tell you.
Just do your best, yeah.
This year, 5 games into the season, and that would be like if me and you had a meeting with the boss, and let's say we were a little unsure about Iowa Sam.
Okay. You sure you want to have this conversation on the air?
Imagine we're like, Iowa Sam, I don't know if this guy's bringing it. I like him, but we're 2-3 after 5 games. If we went out with the bosses, and the next day, Iowa Sam's dragged out of here like, you're fired. Oh, no, that had nothing to do with Covino and Rich getting dinner with the boss. What do you, that's crazy. Why would you say that?
If I was Iowa Sam, you know what I would say? I'd say, I wasn't the one that threw 3 interceptions. That's what I would say. There's a lot going on here, and here's the fun part about it. As of now, as far as I know, until I hear Dan Byer say otherwise, until I hear that cool breaking news, all we can do is speculate. And Mike Tomlin says speculation is a waste of time, but it's still kind of fun because we just got this news today. Is it the fact that they're stinking like Abe Lincoln? Is it the fact that him and Rodgers aren't seen eye to eye. You know, what is the real reason here?
Well,
is it because
Woody
of
Johnson,
cultural and political differences with Robert Saleh wearing a Lebanese patch? That's
Woody
a lot
Johnson.
of the buzz on social media, by the way. I'm not here to stir rumors or spread rumors, but that is some of the buzz on social media. You know, take of it what you will.
Woody Johnson, owner of the team, said that they have comprised arguably the most talented Jets team ever, and they need to capitalize on the personnel they have. By saying that...
I'm sorry, who said this?
Woody.
Woody what?
Johnson.
Oh, wow.
So, if the owners...
He said Woody Johnson.
If the owner's saying we got the most talented team in at least the last decade or so, personnel-wise, we shouldn't be 2-3. You know what it goes back to in my mind? The difference between 2-3 and 3-2. I know you could say, well, Rich, it's one game. Yeah, no S. But the game they lost to the Broncos, what was it, 10-9? And they couldn't pop the ball in the end zone. That was the Lazard pew, pew, gun game.
Yeah.
Like, if they're 3-2 instead of 2-3, you don't think Saleh's still there? You don't fire a coach that's 3-2 after 5. I just felt like they're trying to get ahead of this. Like, the wheels are falling off.
I'm just speculating because that's all we could do. And I'm going with my first instinct. I feel like this reeks of Aaron Rodgers. I feel this reeks of, well, we can't fire the quarterback. We have to make this look right somehow. We'll make some moves for Davante Adams or somebody to piece this together so it looked like it was Saleh, and then this takes Aaron Rodgers off the hook completely. But when you just read between the lines, right, and you see the body language of Aaron Rodgers, the blatant, disgust and disdain for what's going on there. It's not like he's trying to hide it. You could see that it's coming from that. That's all I could believe from this. We haven't gotten the scoop. He wasn't on McAfee. I want to hear from him what's going on. But if you just watch how he's playing, like we speculated yesterday, the way he's showing up his own teammates, or maybe it's the coaching. You know, maybe it's the coaching he's showing up when he's eye rolling and his body language and he's looking unhappy.
I agree with Colin. Cowherd said, you may have just got rid of the most competent coach in the building. Congratulations, Jets.
To appease a guy who's got, a year and a half left, maybe at the most?
Just the other day, Quincy Williams of the Jets said, we need accountability. People are tired of hearing the same S-bomb.
Yo, man, that's just my first instinct. Agree or disagree, I'll take all opinions. We'll take all opinions here on the CNR show because, truthfully, nobody really knows yet. But if I was playing detective, I would say, well, it's probably coming from that guy who looks really unhappy right now. And they're paying this guy a lot of money to be a winning quarterback, and you want this guy to be happy.
Let me play it out.
That's why Saleh's out.
Let me play it out for you because I feel like I'm about to predict the future. Let me tell you how the next week and a half plays out. So, feel me on this. You got Monday Night Football. Jets, Bills.
Okay.
Would you be shocked at all if on Monday night, by then they've acquired Davante Adams, they somehow beat the Bills, and it looks like all is great now in New York, and Robert Saleh was the problem? Stuff like that happens all the time. Happened with Antonio Pierce. Now, I'm not comparing Robert Saleh to McDaniels, but a lot of times that coaching change, you have one big game, maybe the team gets all fired up for it, but would you be shocked if they somehow acquired Davante Adams, won against Buffalo? Dan Beyer saying, do you agree with me on this or what?
I agree with you. If you're going to go all in, go all in. Just
go for it.
Yes, you might as well. And if you're Joe Douglas, what do you care? Because you're likely not going to be around next year anyway, because they'll likely bring in a new GM. And now in the NFL, sometimes you're hiring coaches before you hire an actual GM. So if somebody's going to take that job, they're probably not going to want Douglas there. So, yeah, I would go all in.
We all agree. I think all three of us agree. Danny G agrees. Iowa Sam agrees. They're 2-3. It's still early in the season. So they're saying, we're willing to fire him now to make those changes necessary to make it into the playoffs. Or Aaron Rodgers is the biggest bust of a signing ever. He was out all last year. They're a losing team this year. So you go all in. I agree, Rich. You make those changes. You get Adams. You get another head coach eventually. I don't think Ulbrich is the final answer here. He's the interim solution. And I think they're going to go for it just to sort of save face.
Could I hit you with something that, just to show you how not far out of it the Jets are? Far out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they still have a shot if they make the moves right now.
In the AFC, because everyone's so average, so mediocre, like Matty Noakes, the AFC is, other than the Chiefs, full of a lot of mediocre teams. Oh, by the way, Lindor just hit a warning track shot.
I thought it was
off
gone.
the bat.
Yeah.
It looked gone.
I thought it was gone.
They're tied for second place at 2-3 in the East. The Steelers are 3-2. There's no team other than the Texans in the South that's over 500. And in the AFC West, the only team other than the Chiefs that are 3-2, the Broncos. So it's wide open.
But do you believe that Saleh was the reason that they're 2-3? I don't believe that. I do believe that he wasn't getting along with Aaron Rodgers, and I do believe that he's the sacrificial coach, right? And that's really what it is. He's the sacrificial coach. Everybody sees it. It's almost like a WWE script. Like, hey, you realize we know what's going on here. It's a great storyline. He's the sacrificial coach. You get rid of him, and he's the catalyst to get the other players to sort of save face and make the playoffs and at least make a run for it while you still can. At 2-3.
Cool.
And they make some moves. They get some players, like you said. Maybe they do go for Belichick, even though that's big dreaming. I don't know. But I think that he's the sacrificial coach. End of story, unless, of course, we hear otherwise, which is a possibility, but that's not what I'm thinking.
I don't want to put you on the spot because there's no wrong guess here.
Yeah.
Since the year 2000, 24 years ago, how many coaches do you think the Jets have had, head coaches?
Oh, wait.
Since the year 2000.
Let me check my math. That's 24 years, right? Yeah. Man, I don't know. 7.
12.
Oh, wow, man.
This is no new news. The Jets are going to jet. That was the sentiment before, now with, and after Aaron Rodgers.
Hold on.
Aaron Rodgers tried to change the sentiment. Mark Sanchez for 1 minute.
Hey, wasn't everybody, I'm not saying you, Rich. I'm saying the general everybody. Was everybody saying the Jets are playoff bound this year?
I didn't say they're not.
And to sort of save face, again, sacrificial coach. He's a sacrificial lamb of this entire story so that they can make the moves to make that some sort of truth. And now, more pressure on Rodgers, in my opinion. I think you got a guy who looks, I got to be fair, he's a GOAT. He's a great one. But he looks a little washed, and they don't know what to do.
Remember that joke that Dan Byer made about the USA Today a few weeks back? We look at their projections every year because they've been off on quite a few. Yeah. But they had the Jets winning the Super Bowl.
Dude, and what did we say here on the show? I don't want to be like, yo, we're the show that said this.
No, we like, goof on our wrong picks more than we talk about anything we do right.
We were like, you think the Jets are going to be Super Bowl bound, even playoff bound? Aaron Rodgers hasn't played in over a year. You know what Aaron Rodgers you're going to get. And we'll see what happens, but that's the news.
Imagine Saleh is the problem.
Maybe he is,
Imagine.
Rich, but I'll tell you what. Outside looking in, and that's all we really know, we're not in there. Outside looking in, he seems like a really likable guy. All right, let's talk about my divorce, Rich, right? Because you love to talk about it.
I love bringing it up.
This is the first time you've ever brought it up.
I know, right?
It's usually me.
Okay. Outside looking in, who was the nice guy? And who was the problem?
I remember your divorce attorney called you a mensch, and you thought that was a bad word.
Okay, and that's outside looking in. Yeah, I'm like,
Covino, you're such a mensch. He's like, what you call me? I'm like, I think that's a good thing.
I'm like, mensch on the bench. Oh, thank you. He's a good guy. So, outside looking in, you have these speculations. You have these ideas, right? And there's always a good guy and a bad guy. Don't you kind of feel like Saleh was the good guy here? Just based on, you're 49ers.
No, listen, I've already seen 49er chat rooms. I know it's not going to happen, but they're like, bring him back as defensive coordinator right now because the Niners are struggling a little bit on D. Listen, he's a light guy. It
doesn't mean it's true, but that's the overall feeling I get outside looking in. Your thoughts. Let's break it down, and you could chime in with your opinion too at 877-99 on 5.